I'm Scott Vanderplu, and this is the AE Index Podcast, episode 112.
I went down to the St. James Infirmary, found my baby there, stretched out on a long white table, so sweet, so cold, so fair.
Well, we continue on the path of all things AE here, taking the written word at aeindex.org and discussing it, adding a tidbit here and there, but mostly just discussing the month that was. If we look at what happened at the Index over the last month, we've got 3 reviews. I said last time that I'm going to be I'm taking one break to do some other things. I'm just trying to be doing some long-form articles. I didn't get one done this month. But so 3 reviews seems like enough in the month. As well, though, a whole lot of solicitations. It's crazy. And one thing I did write up, I've mentioned it before, and I had linked to the email on the AE Format Books Index. But I actually wrote up an article this time, because people still seem confused, and I tried to make it as simple as possible. Why do Image books have 2 shipping dates? That's what the post is called, and I go into that. Image uses basically 2 main distributors. One is Lunar Distributing, which warehouses their books for them and ships out their comics, their periodicals, and also ships their books. So collected editions, hardcovers, graphic novels, that kind of thing. As well, those collected editions, graphic novels, hardcovers are distributed by Simon & Schuster. Lunar gets the books, and then 27 days later is when they're released by Simon & Schuster. There was a delay in the book market, and as I said previously, Image turned lemons into lemonade and made it a boon for comic book retailers, saying that these things are available through them first and then to the book market afterwards. I think it was really logistics from getting it to Lunar to Simon & Schuster and then distributed that was the issue, but that's okay. That works out. And that is why Image books have 2 shipping dates. If you order your book, and the reason Act 4 Publishing, Scott Demere's company, is distributed via Skybound Image. And, right, so then if you order from somewhere that uses Lunar, so say DCBS or In Stock Trades, those aren't owned by the same company as Lunar, but cheap graphic novels, then you'll get it at a certain date. So as an example, Mike Mignola's Hellboy and Hell Volume 2 Artist Edition was released today, April 1st. If you are getting it through the book market, say an Amazon or an Indigo if you're in Canada, then you will get it April 28th, 27 days later. And that is just the circumstances of how they're distributing their books. For Canadians, as far as Canadian stores go, shipping from Lunar is quite expensive because it's coming from the Midwest. It's coming across the border, coming to Canada. Boxes are heavy. They use FedEx. It's not cheap. And then large books, right, are going to ship in their own box. So if somebody orders one artist edition maybe for their store because they've got a special order, it's going to come in its own box, and they're going to pay $25 US or more to get that box to their store. Or they can order from Simon & Schuster, get the same discount level, and get free shipping, just unfortunately 27 days later. It's fairly straightforward for a lot of markets, but I wish it wasn't that way, but that's the reality of it right now. And if I will link to this on my the AE Format Index so that people can see it. I'm trying to build up a repertoire of articles like this. What is an artist edition? That's been around there for quite a while. I define and break down what they are. This is the kind of thing that just needs to be. I had an older article from long ago. Why do artist editions cost more? And there was because there was no set. There used to be no printed price in artist editions. There was a net price through Diamond for retailers, but it was not printed anywhere on the book. So retailers could decide because artist editions had a smaller discount than normal for retailers. So then do retailers want to make their 100%, which is normal, or do they want to make less? So that was another article I had, though. So these little things that just sort of enhance knowledge of the circumstances around A format books, their distribution, their pricing, that kind of thing. All right, that's out of the way. Let's talk shipping changes. It's the first of the month, so we're doing our podcast here. Shipping changes, Youngblood Vault Edition. This changed a while ago, but it's April 29th is the shipping date currently through Lunar. And then The Amazing Spider-Man by Steve Ditko Artist Edition was moved to June 24th. I think those are older date changes, but just to keep yourself aware of those. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's talk solicitations this month. There are a lot of solicitations. So I will start with Penguin Random House March 2026 solicitations. And they discuss, there's 2 books that have popped up, and that is The Art of Star Wars, A New Hope, the manga, Volume 1 and Volume 2. There were some samples available on the Penguin Random House website, which was great. Got to see the interior of the books. And you got to see how the formatting is working for the smaller sized edition, because these are 10 by 12 inches with the art. It's the original art, but it's pushed to the center, and then on the left and right columns are the translations. Now, this is the smaller version of what was called the Masterpiece Edition that was released crowdfunded only. We'll discuss that later in the podcast, because I did get my copy from Kickstarter and was astounded at the book. So we'll talk about that later. But these 2 volumes are going to be available. Volume 1 available June 16th. Volume 2 available August 18th. Now, this is also mentioned in the Dark Horse April 2026 catalog. That's Volume 2, and somehow I completely missed Volume 1 from the February catalog, but I do link to that as well. So that's actually 2 birds, 1 stone, but 2 posts. So it looks great. Excuse me. The full-size Masterpiece Edition is the way to go, but I mean, it was only Kickstarter, and it's gone now. I've been checking eBay. The $200 Kickstarter is going for about $450 on eBay, so that's a bitter pill to swallow for sure. All right, next up, Image June 2026 catalog. We had 1 new solicitation in that, and something we'd previously seen from Simon & Schuster, and that is DC Silver Age Covers and Stories Artist Edition. And again, we've talked about this previously, so I won't go the whole blurb, but this is 192 pages, 15 by 22 inch hardcover, so twice up Silver Age, gorgeous DC work. So we're going to see some stories, full stories in there, over 75 covers. You can check out my post there. Like I said, we talked about it previously, but we did get nice images of the covers A and B, and we know which is A and which is B. So Flash of Two Worlds is cover A, and that's just the main cover, and then cover B, which is the direct market cover, is the Superman Flash race. So there you go. Moving on up, DC June 2026 catalog. We've got a new DC work in progress. This time, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow #1. A look at the stunning Supergirl epic by Tom King and Bilquis Evely. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Step into the world of comics like never before with DC work in progress. Get up close and personal with the stunning original artwork from one of comics' greatest artists. Featuring the original art of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow from Bilquis Evely, the brilliance of Evely's work can be seen like never before in this massive, oversized presentation. Don't miss your chance to own this incredible one-of-a-kind piece of comics history. This is being released June 24th. It's 11 by 17 inch, saddle-stitched. 24 pages hardcover, 24 pages softcover. So this is a very small DC work in progress, and it is $14.99 US again. I mean, I want any A format book of Bilquis Evely. I really, really wish we could get two full stories that she's done recently. Just stunning. I'd like to see those in the full artist edition. March 2026 crowdfunding. 2 crowdfunded works came up same day, March 21st. So first one up, Stephen R. Bissett's Tyrant Original Art Edition, designed by Jim Rugg, a 12-inch by 19-inch collection of all the Tyrant original art, along with rare, never-before-seen pieces from throughout Bissett's nearly 50-year career, featuring unparalleled line art reproduction, thanks to Sean Michael Robinson's brilliant expertise. Over 100 pages printed on bamboo stock. Every copy of the original art edition will come housed in a fully designed display case, or I would call it a slipcase, or a coffret in French there, featuring a custom dinosaur pattern and the impeccable design sensibility of Jim Rugg, along with one of the fiercest images Stephen R. Bissett created for Tyrant. This is being released by Lighthouse via Kickstarter for an expected September 2026 release. 12 by 19 inches, 100 plus pages, slipcase hardcover, $150 US is what the Kickstarter campaign is right now. I backed this. I got a retailer bundle. I'm going to get 3 of them. So I'll have 1 for myself, 2 for the A-Index store. And I ordered the signed copies. It was only another $25 each, so I thought I'll get the signed copies. Something a little bit special. We'll see how those go. Second crowdfunded book of the month is The Fourth Father Artist Edition from Matteo Scalera and Ink Pulp. A deluxe 11 by 14 hardcover edition of The Fourth Father, collecting the original scans of the pages with no word balloons, art only. It also includes character studies, pencil studies, and sketches. Includes the deluxe trade paperback, so which is nice in that this Kickstarter bundle, it says the artist edition shows every page of art just as Matteo drew it. He drew each page on 11 by 14 Bristol board, but the art itself on that board is at print size. You'll also see the negative space around the page, which shows the art that moved beyond the printed area. This is put together by Ink Pulp via Kickstarter for September 2026 release. It's 11 by 14 inches. It's 220 pages. The artist edition is a hardcover. It's also coming with a 200-page softcover trade paperback of the full story. And that's $130 US. So pretty interesting stuff. I backed this as well, just the art edition. Looks great. And we'll have to see both of those. I mean, do they meet their targets? Are they able to be released? We'll have to wait and see. All right. I don't really have a featured topic for this month. I had a lot of thoughts rattling around my brain. Things about should I be writing articles about what do I review on YouTube? I'm still just sticking with flip throughs. Not really sure that's the platform I want to be on doing reviews. I'm really happy with the web format. And I think I ramble on a little too much in the video reviews. So this is my only rambling space, which is okay. Also, I mean, just, as I was reviewing book after book, and I'm looking online, and there's a bunch of French books I'd really like, or Belgian books, band dessinée. But I'm just, shipping has become insane. There's a new book from Edition Black and White, a new Regis Luzel book, and it's 195 euros, and it's 60 euro shipping. I mean, it's a third. That's 100 Canadian, to get that book shipped. Like $100 just for shipping. It kills me. I had to say I don't think I can do it. And same with another book, the Black Sad, Volume 7. I'm really interested in that from Fine Art Editions. I think it's Fine Art. But I'm like, I don't know. Again, European, do I get it? I really am trying to limit myself on the spending for shipping from these European books. It just seems to be getting out of hand, much like shipping anywhere, I guess. I had sold the book into the U.S. this week. I finally sold that Best of EC Artist Edition Volume 1. And just, shipping it, and it's the rate's a little bit higher than what I'm used to, and because the de minimis has been removed in the U.S., that even though there's no duty, or there's still, UPS is charging a handling fee, $9.95 U.S. So, unfortunately, the U.S. now is getting a taste of what the rest of the world has experienced for quite a while. That's you're going to pay tax, you're going to pay handling fee, you're going to pay these extra things to get, books from outside your country. That's just the sad reality. But also with these books, this constant churn I have of, what's new, what's coming in, how do I compare it? I just really had to think to myself of how am I looking at these books. There's a term, a religious term, definitely, but I don't know, in other spheres, but, staying in the first love, which is, that initial initial joy, that excitement you share, when you first enter in a relationship with someone, you're excited, you first start dating maybe, and you can't wait to see them, and that anticipation, right? That longing to spend any time with them, and just reveling in that experience, that shared joy of being with each other, sharing each other's company, sharing those, right? Your hopes, your dreams. And then, as time progresses, right, that slackens, that it becomes the norm. You start taking things for granted because it's another old hat, right? Then how do you stay in the first love? How do you keep that alive? How do you keep that excitement? How do you foster that feeling all the time of the excitement of sharing in that thing? And it was, I reviewed hundreds of A format books, and a new book comes in, right? And unfortunately, because if you've seen it already, you've seen this kind of thing before. You've seen it many, many times. Then what is new? Where does the excitement come from? Unfortunately, it comes from when something is different, right? We see a new book. I'm looking at this The Art of Star Wars: A New Hope, the manga masterpiece edition. I'm going to be talking about that review in a few minutes. Right? It's something new. It's something different. It's some manga. We haven't experienced that from this thing. It's in a slipcase. It's 3 volumes. It's just the production value and everything, all the things that maybe we don't see all the time, or something new, right? That is shiny, right? Oh, look, this new thing. I'm excited for this new thing. And those things that aren't so new, those things that just have, steadfastly stayed the way they are, true to their form, then the excitement's not there. How do we get that excitement? How do we rekindle that? And I understand most people are not buying every A format book and then buying AE adjacent books and then buying art books. This is, I'm feeding the beast, right? That is the website. That is the reviews. That is this podcast. That is the video flip throughs on YouTube. And, how do I keep it from not feeling like a job, like something that has to be done? That's what I'm struggling with. That's what I have to figure out. Because when you just pick up the books that you love, you focus on an artist that you think is amazing. I got Mike Mignola's Hellboy in Hell Artist Edition Volume 2 yesterday in the mail. I thought, whoa, am I not going to get it? Is it going to be late? So yes, I just met the release date. So I'll have my review up on Saturday. And generally, I really hope and wish when I get a review copy, which I'm always thankful for, free copies are awesome, that it comes in and I can have the review up before the book is released. That way people have an idea when they go into their comic shops or they go online and they say, oh yeah, I've already seen this review. This is an opportunity for me to know what's what. But that, so this book is, I'm flipping through it and I'm just admiring Mignola's work, and the inking is so gorgeous. And he's applied it with a brush and it looks a little thinner maybe. And there's a cloudly, nebulous quality that just feeds into the atmosphere that he creates on the page for the Hellboy story. And it's amazing. And here's a piece of art that I already love. Here's an artist I love, and I can understand then again, that first love, strong feelings for it, rekindled. But then, I get a book and I hate to just keep harping on Jim Aparo, but he's just not my artist. And, I found things to admire and I found things to appreciate in the Aparo Artist Edition. But, it's not something I was excited about. It wasn't art that I was thinking, oh my goodness, I've loved this creator this whole time. I'm so excited for it. There was a post on the forum today about Ian Chowron showed his daughter the new Thor book, the Bolton. The Art of the Mighty Thor. He got his advanced copy, and his daughter just didn't like the Kirby Thor from that. And somebody on the board said, "Oh, well, just give them the Thor book to read, and then they'll like it." It's just not the case, right? That's not the reality. You can change your taste over time. You can develop an appreciation for artists, and for an art style, or for an artist progressing in their journey of artistic ability, merit. I mean, if you think of someone like Mignola, who started very round, had curves, right? You think of his work on Alpha Flight, as example, or the World of Krypton, where you start to see his lines come together. Then you see it. There's a beautiful Submariner story from Marvel Fanfare that I used to own a page of, and it's just that roundness of Mignola, but still with heavy inks, just amazing. And then you see his evolution of art style as he trims down, right? He reduces it to necessary lines, to what is there. And Mignola, with Hellboy and things, he's crafting what is there from what isn't. It's almost like he's bringing these characters together, shaped by the negative space of those inks on his pages. And you can develop, you can certainly find an appreciation for something, but art is visual, right? Art is a personal preference. And if, a young person, I know, my son is the same. He's 17. He's very into comics, but you show him, 60s art and he's just, or 50s art or 40s art, and he just doesn't care. That's not the style that he's interested in. He can have an appreciation for it again, and he does have an appreciation for it, but not the desire, not the I want to use the term longing, right? To drink it in, to take part in it, to really enjoy it. And that's just not there. So how can we possibly be excited for everything? We can't. And that's the reality of my reality, really, of the site, and trying to review everything and try and keep an objective. So that's why a lot of times my reviews, I try not to give personal opinions too much on things. I like to just the facts, ma'am. For like Dragnet used to say, from anybody who could possibly remember that TV show. But that way, introduce personal opinion after the main review. Much like the Conan Colossal Edition, right? If you bought Conan off the stand, or you bought it at the store, you didn't experience the ridiculousness that was the publisher and the Zoop and the book constantly going up and the delay after delay, and just overall ridiculous. And retailers getting the book before backers were. None of that matters if you walked into a store, saw it, and bought it. So that's why those facts I put at the bottom of the review, right? And so when I talk about a Kickstarter, same with the Art of Star Wars: A New Hope, right? Are these things important? These details important? Not necessarily to look at the review to say what is what, but they are flavor, right? It's the color that's added to the review to generate this sort of that I'm not an automaton, that I do have an opinion, and that I can share and express it. Also, I mean, if that is my topic for this month, then certainly as well, then how to stay positive on things and how not to focus on the negative. That's also personality. I am certainly a glass half full kind of person, and I can appreciate what is new and what is exciting and what I see for sure, but I will not stop pointing out the negative. And unfortunately, sometimes people will gloss over what was said positively and focus on the negative, and I certainly hope no one does that. I'm just trying to present a weighted case for the book as it is. All right. The soapbox is officially retired for this month, and we'll move on to our 3 reviews. So 3 reviews, exciting stuff. First up, Gaston L'Integral Facsimile. I don't know, 1982 to 1996 version original. So Marsu Productions, which was Franklin's company, basically produced an AE format book of all of his work. So we got the Spirou stuff, we got the Gaston stuff, we have some other things, and this is one of those things. This volume actually wraps up the complete Gaston. So that's why it covers 82 to 96. Let me give you the blurb. The VO, Version Original Collection, aims to publish Andre Franklin's masterpieces in a format that pays homage to the original artwork. In the vast majority of cases, the original size is respected down to the millimeter. Unexpected details then appear, making the page resonate even more. The line takes on a new vigor, and the white spaces become majestic breaths. The magic of Franklin's drawing opens up a new realm of exploration which will delight discerning fans. This is a Google Translate of the French. I love the language of that opening description. Just to describe any AE format book is just gorgeous. The VO collection approaches the world of Gaston chronologically. It all offers all the graphical material, comics, illustrations, advertisements, etc., and editorial content direct from the editorial office, etc., published in the beautiful Spirou magazine. Fans can thus relive what contemporary readers of Franklin's creation felt week after week. More than ever, they realize that Gaston was, from the very beginning, a unique character. In this album, Franklin's original artwork is not reproduced in black and white, but in facsimile, respecting its original appearance. A selection of the finest Gaston drawings created between 82 and 96 completes the book. The faithful reproduction of these works invites the reader to sit down for a moment at Franklin's drawing table. This was released on September 25th, 2015. It's 43 by 31 centimeters, or 12.2 by 17 inches. It's 156 pages hardcover. It was 119 euros. I ordered it from Les Libraires, which is that Canadian French bookstore conglomerate, basically that independent bookstores all come under this website. And it is $209.95 Canadian. So what was interesting about this is released 16 years ago. I bought it in December, I think. So 15 years. It was 10 years old at that point. But still available from the distributor. So not many of them are. I've got to tell you, the Spirou ones are not. I've been, hard at work tracking those down. I'm a Franklin junkie, but Gaston is that. This so much reminds me. This is Jerry Lewis, comics. It's just very much physical comedy, and that's not something I greatly appreciate. So I've been avoiding the Gaston. So I thought, here's one. It's cover, it's still available. I'll order it. I did enjoy it. Again, Franklin original art, right, from a great period. It is a numbered book, hand numbered. So there's 2,200 copies. My copy is number 233. So after 10 years, my copy is 233. I'd say this one didn't sell as well as the rest. Excuse me. So we get a really interesting selection here. So we get the last strips he did for Spirou. And then we get into, editorial stuff he did, some covers, samplings of pages from Spirou magazine. And then we get into the artwork, which is more great stuff that he did for just various things, covers and just all kinds of really random Franklin artwork for Gaston that you otherwise would not see. They've just done a great job of, those first albums are just the main stories, and this is just all the extras, all the bits. It's amazing. There's mostly ink stuff, but then you get into pencils and you get into half-finished work, and you really get to see Franklin develop his work on the page. There's just really gorgeous stuff. And I mean, it's, how I can't resist Franklin, so it's just me. All right, next up, The Art of Star Wars: A New Hope, the manga Masterpiece Edition. Let me give you the blurb here. In 1997, deep in the heart of Japan's manga scene, artist Isao Tamaki set out with an extraordinary goal to capture the spirit of Star Wars: A New Hope, not just retelling the story, but reimagining the landmark motion picture through the lens of manga. The result was a bold, unforgettable adaptation that ultimately earned Tamaki the prestigious Eisner Award for Best U.S. Edition of Foreign Material. I don't know, was that prestigious to somebody in Japan? Some U.S. award? Now, nearly 3 decades later, Dark Horse Comics and Lucasfilm are proud to present The Art of Star Wars: A New Hope, the manga, a new book that showcases Tamaki's original, never-before-seen artboards. Fans will experience Tamaki's stunning artwork in both retail and Kickstarter exclusive editions, each featuring high-quality reproductions of the original pages, complete with blue pencil marks, pasted captions, and editorial notes, and presented in their original right-to-left reading order, offering a true window into the creative process. A 10 by 8.5 by 15.05 3-volume hardcover set, a large format premium release. The first 2 volumes faithfully reproduce Tamaki's original art at full size in the original right-to-left reading order, while the 3rd volume serves as a translation companion to be enjoyed alongside the artwork. Unlike the collector's edition, which we discussed earlier, the Masterpiece Edition will only be available through Kickstarter and will not be offered at retail. This was 456 pages over 3 volumes in a slipcase, $200 US, only available through Kickstarter. It was expected for May shipping, right? And I got it in March. This is a stunning work. Well done, Dark Horse, on their first Kickstarter. Well done getting this out. So this is not the only way to get this now is through eBay, and you are paying a premium. It hurts to look at these things going for $4.50. There was no retailer bundle for this book, this Masterpiece edition. I would have bought retailer bundle and offered it for sale at the site, but it was not available. So I guess hindsight is, order more than one copy, but I think I paid $55 US to get this shipped to me in Canada. Not exactly sure, so I'm always hesitant. We have multiple copies. Shipping just adds up. That's how I ended up not getting another Kickstarter. It doesn't matter which one. Jason Brewston's Body Bags. All right. So right to left, gorgeous artwork. So this is full production artwork. All the word balloons, the text, I guess, is typed for manga at this period, and then it's pasted in. If you look carefully around some of the word balloons where it's where the text has been typed and pasted in, you can see that it was penciled there, so you got an idea. Tamaki's artwork is just gorgeous, and as it said in the blurb there, right, he actually adapted the artwork. He does not follow word for word the dialogue from the movie. There's some slight changes. The art just shines. It is so gorgeous. And he's very faithful. He's aware of panels. He's aware of keeping the story moving. And then, so it's a really great flow, but it's funny. But then you get into the battle with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader at that point in A New Hope on the Death Star, and suddenly he really stretches that out, right? It's like it's a sword duel, and he's got to give it all the love that a manga illustrator could give it. And you definitely, there's, in the spaceships and the design and his line work, it's just gorgeous. You can see there's a lot of screen tone. I'm trying not to say zipatone anymore. Say screen tone, because I always say correction fluid. I don't say whiteout, so I should say screen tone. But then he's got the faces, he really goes manga on the faces, which, is to be expected. But 2 volumes, great stuff. And it's interesting how the artwork is presented, because a lot of them are 2-page spreads. So the artwork goes right to the center of the book, and then you've got margins on the left and right. Now, as I said, the collector's editions that are being released through retail as well, that's where they're putting, they've widened the margin a bit more, and that's where they're putting the translation. But this book is full-size original artwork. So we get a third book with just the translations. Now, they do an interesting thing in that book. They really add like an opacity to the pages, and then just they number each word balloon, and then the number corresponds, they give you the text. They didn't really need to whiten the original artwork this month. We definitely could have had this small version of the artwork and appreciated it more. That's a minor nitpick here. This collection is very nice as well. Then we got an interview with the artist, which is great. I would have actually liked. He does talk about his creation process for this book. Maybe I would have preferred a little bit more nitty gritty, but also there's an introduction from the translator, which I thought was a great idea. Talking about this. Overall, it's a stunning product. And again, is it because it's new? Is it because it's different? They're not breaking a lot of ground with the original artwork. It's scans, right? This is every A format book scans the artwork. How does that presented? It's just on a fairly standard white background, and there are extras where there's overlays have been scanned and put in as extras. I would have really appreciated if overlays were added as overlays to the book. That would have been amazing. But overall, an excellent product. And the last book of the month, also from Dark Horse, that's The Art of Fantastic Four. This is from the Bullpen book series, put together by John Lynn and Ian Chagrin. And I've previously had reviewed The Art of the Amazing Spider-Man. And this book came out September 23rd, 2025. I did not pick it up until this month, in the month of March. Apologies. Penguin Random House had a sale, and as I said earlier at the beginning of this podcast, there's only so many books I can buy. There's only so much time I have, and I've really got an overfilled library. It's crazy. I've got to cull. I've got to be I've got to conquer this culling. That's for sure. But it was on sale, because of I'm owner in a comic store, so I get some pretty sweet deals sometimes. So they had 75 off from the distributor. So I picked up this book for under 20 Canadian. And I thought, definitely, I love Ian Chagrin. I love his design work, and I love what they're doing with this book. So let me give you the blurb. This oversized bullpen books edition focuses on Kirby's lengthy run on the Fantastic Four from 61 to 71. It includes complete stories from issues 60, 71, 82, and 83, and the spectacular 48-page Fantastic Four Annual 6. These selections provide a glimpse into the early days of Marvel's bullpen, showcasing Kirby's artistic genius during one of his most creative periods. Dark Horse's Bullpen Books series of art books pays tribute to the characters and creators of Marvel Comics. The second volume honors Jack Kirby's work on the Fantastic Four and follows up on the Bullpen Books series, inaugural installment, The Art of the Amazing Spider-Man. Again, the release September 23rd, 2025. It's 10 inches by 14 inches, 200 pages. It's a hardcover. It's $59.99 US or $78.99 Canadian, I think is the printed price on it. This is collecting the original artwork that was scanned by Scott Dunbier for IDW's Artist Edition line. And then because it was a licensed work, all that material is handed back over to Marvel. And John Lynn and Ian Chagrin are using those scans done by Scott repurposed for this book. And they do a beautiful job repurposing. They present it in a wonderful way. And again, those books were, those original artist editions these came from, like number 60 came from a 15 by 22 inch artist edition. The other issues came from an artist edition that was 11 by 17. So here they're 10 by 14, and they've reduced the borders a bit to cut it. So the artwork is slightly reduced, but this is such a wonderful 10 by 14 is an amazing size. I've said this over and over again. It is really something. It captures a lot of the fine detail that you can certainly see from the artwork. It's a great size, but it's manageable. You can sit, you can have this book in your lap, and you can really pore over it and enjoy it. That said, do I want every A format book at the reduced size of 10 by 14? No, I really do want them to see them full size. But as I was just, last month, Wally Wood's, EC Stories Artist Edition Expanded, 15 by 22, I got to put this on a table and just trying to lean over it and pour over it and try and handle this book. And it's very difficult at times. So here we got something 10 by 14, very manageable. And again, this because we're cropping right to the art, there's no borders. It's just, it is as it is. And you get these stories, and they're complete stories. There's no missing pages. It's wonderful. And then there's also what I really appreciated, because that was my complaint from the first book, was that they make no mention that all these scans were done by somebody else. Somebody else's work, was what provided them with this. So I love that on the colophon, it says, finally, thank you to Scott Dunbier for his foresight in tracking down and scanning much of the original artwork included, allowing future generations to access these valuable insights into the creative process. Now, it says much of the original artwork because 4 pieces of artwork were provided by Todd Hignite and Heritage Auctions. So that's awesome, because those 4 pieces are actually detailed on the colophon as well. So great stuff. On the first review, I actually for the Spider-Man, I broke down where each story comes from. I didn't want to do that. I gave links to the 2 artist editions, the Fantastic Four artist editions. You can go look that up. Very straightforward. I've already told you where they're from. So it's interesting in this book as well, because we get 3 text pieces. We get an introduction by Ryan North. It's heavy fanboy appreciation. That's all I'm going to say. I don't. You guys already know I'm not crazy about that stuff. Give me something. Give me some meat there. I mean, you want to talk great introduction. Kevin Nolan does an introduction for Mignola's Hellboy in Hell that I will talk about next month. That is awesome. It's to the point. It actually speaks to the artwork, speaks to a connection with the artist, and speaks to the works more specifically, which I love. So this is, this artwork is great. Oh, it's been such an influence on everybody. Oh, I wish, if you're reading this for the first time, I wish I could read it for the first time again. How many times have you read that in introduction? What does that do for us? Nothing. It does nothing. It's great that other people appreciate artwork, but that's why I'm not buying the book. I'm not buying the book so that I can read somebody else liked it and went, oh, great, I can just close it. That person likes it, right? We're buying it because we want to see if we like it. So it's nice that, somebody semi-famous likes something, but It doesn't need to be an introduction. All right, there you go. There you go. You can just take my negative right there. Otherwise, John Lynn just dives right into the Fantastic Four, dives into Kirby, dives into the circumstances around it. It's a great text piece that really focuses on the work that's provided here. I love that. Then Ian Chalgren does an amazing design job here. He's got this sensibility. Chalgren's got a style. He's really focused on it. He presents this. He likes to do collage. He likes to do pieces of artwork where he's gathering, he gathers art from multiple pieces and he layers it and he presents something new with it. And then he's got I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to say faded, but I don't have the artistic language to say it's something else, right? He reduces the color, and it's got a worn look to it, an aged look that he presents to it. And that's Chalgren's style, right? And it's quite powerful. And then it works that I love the quarter bound spine on here. Cloth would be great, but I understand, there's cost concerns. So we got a quarter bound spine here with it's the blue again. It's that Kirby crackle that works really well. And that ties through the book, uses it in an introductory page, uses it at the beginning of every piece of every original artwork story has an introduction that lays out the issue number, the title, the story, the date of publication, the writer, the illustrators, the letterer. Gives us a little insight into that work. And that's, the Chalgren, again, he just gussies it up completely. Gives us beautiful presentation. And because we've got the original artwork. Yes, we've got that. So if we want to give flavor, right? If we want to give personality to the book, this is our chance to do it, right? In these introductory pages, in the colophon, right? In the chapter dividers, in these places where it's the only place we're going to get color, because otherwise this is very, right, black and white. But the beauty of these books, again, is that they present a series of covers. So this book presents every cover by Kirby. So we got, Fantastic Four 1 to 102. And the beautiful thing here again is they have the archive of Marvel to delve into. So we get most of them are in color. But then we have a vast number of covers that are presented in the original artwork. I actually counted them from the review, but I can't quickly find that paragraph. 26. There you go. So wonderful. So this is a very great book. It's the second in the series. The third book is The Art of the Mighty Thor, and that's combining art from the Jack Kirby's Mighty Thor Artist Edition and the Walt Simonson Thor Artist Edition. So we're going to have to see how that goes, because now we're combining two different artists into one book. I mean, that's covering a vastly different period of work as well. So how will they do a series of covers? We'll have to wait and see on that. And then there are supposed to be more titles, I believe, coming in the Bullpen book series. Yes, I know what they are, but I'm not going to say because I was told in confidence. And there's if you start breaking confidence in who's going to write, then no one will have confidence in you. So you got to keep your eyes peeled for those. Again, overall, wonderful book. Great as a repeating Kirby thing head on the end paper, and this so reminds me of Filippo Giammetti's style of the repeating, a bold color, single color, repeating image, just gorgeous. Everybody knows frequent listeners know I love Giammetti and his art style. So, all right, that's it for this month. I had no topic, but I managed to pull the soapbox out and really go on and on about something. So thanks for listening. Next month, there should be some exciting reviews. I will have the out of print eBay quarter, and I should have my A-Index year in numbers finally wrapped up. I had too many this month as well. I apologize. I'd had my numbers. I was pulling them from Google Analytics again, and I thought, wait a second. I installed a local analytics package on my WordPress late 2024, so I have a full 2025 of that, and I actually wanted to focus on my local analytics. I feel like it does a better job than what Google Analytics is providing for me, so it's going to be a blending of that. I had actually had the whole article ready to go, and then I realized I wanted to switch which analytics packages I was going to focus on, So then that added a delay, and then a delay again, because that was February, and March just has slipped by again, and now we're into April. All right, thank you, and we will talk again next month.
Let her go, God bless her. Wherever she may be, she can search this wide world over. She'll never find a sweet man like me.